ladies and gentlemen, you are being fooled by these six. Watch what's the next motion. Watch the motion. Listen carefully. You all have been sandbagged.
I make a motion to terminate the employment of Mr. Dion Jackson, the superintendent of the Berkeley County School District, effective immediately. Do we have a second?
You want your children to not know the truth because you're racist. It's so funny how all these conservative, patriot, pro-American causes are always, like founded in racism. You know what I'm saying? On day one, my man literally didn't even have a chance to make a reputation for himself within that position. He didn't even have an opportunity to, show people what he's made of in that position.
I know the justification and the rationale reasoning for firing an individual who just was proficient in his first annual evaluation. What's the reason, Mr. Chairman? You made the motion. What's the reason? Why are we terminating his employment?
Mr. Barrow, I'm not going to discuss personnel matters in open session.
No. We don't want him because, he's black and critical race theory is going all over the place. And that means that he's going to push that. When in reality, people in, kids in 4th and 3rd and 6th grade aren't learning about the intricacies of this battle and that battle and this slave ship and that slave ship, and this is how America intervened in Central America. People, when you're in the 3rd grade, you're not learning super in-depth details about American history. You're learning basic things, and most public school systems are rather pro-American in the way that they teach stuff anyway. So all of this outrage and fear over critical race theory really just goes to show how racist these people are.
All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
The motion carries 6-3.
It is unbelievable that on the first night of a new board that such things would come up. Unbelievable.
We have another motion.
We have people all over the country who honestly believe that public school systems that barely have budgets to afford anything are putting litter boxes in their schools for kids who identify as furries, even though that's, not been found anywhere because it's completely ridiculous. Joe Rogan, he talks about it, and then he has people like Matt Walsh who come on his podcast, and luckily Joe and his editor corrected him on the spot.
Are you talking about hormone blockers?
Yeah.
Millions of kids have been on hormone blockers? Really?
I'm sure someone's going to fact check me on that, but my guess is that we're into the millions now at this point. Yeah, that would be my guess.
It says over the last 5 years, there were at least 4,780 adolescents who started puberty blockers and had a prior gender dysphoria diagnosis.
Matt Walsh, he's just like, millions of kids are undergoing gender surgery and puberty blockers and all that. And it's like, and they look at the numbers like, actually, it's about 1,000 a year or so, or 1,000 and million, not 1 million, millions. That's quite a gap. That's quite a distance because conservatives just make stuff up. They just make stuff up. That's all they do. They literally just get on camera and say things. And millions of people around the country believe it so much to the point that we got to fire this black man on day one because we don't want our children learning about the truth about the United States. Okay.
I make a motion to name Anthony Dixon.
I mean, what are you so scared of? I'm very concerned that my child is going to learn that, in fact, Christopher Columbus wasn't a good guy. Seriously, what are you so afraid of? Because, whether it's Christopher Columbus or the fact that we had segregation in this country, let alone slavery, but the process through the civil rights era of what we did to get the Civil Rights Bill passed and so on and so forth. Why don't you want your kids learning about that? What do you want them learning? You want them learning that, the Pilgrims came over here and we just got along great. And somehow 100 million people practically just disappeared, from the tip of North America to the tip of South America. Practically, there's much more indigenous people in Central and South America. But still, we're talking about the United States. When was the last time you saw an indigenous Native American? You have to really look hard for them when they used to be all over the country, right? How are we going to explain that? Did they just disappear one day? They just woke up and walked up a staircase to heaven? What are we talking about here? You want your children to not know the truth because you're racist.